Hey, what's up, guys? Ronin Man here. It is Thanksgiving over in the U.S. and it's the day after Thanksgiving here in Thailand. And I'm here at a little shrine, and I wanted to talk about a topic that I think is very important, and it's something I actually know a lot about because enjoying holidays without a family, or kind of without all the things that everybody else has. You know, right now, I think everybody knows I have a newborn daughter, but for a lot of reasons, I'm kind of not allowed to be there right now. And I want to. This is kind of a new development, but actually, this live stream is about much more than that, because I've been an expat since the '80s, and I've had to deal with holidays away from home, away from all my, family and friends. I've been to over 50 countries. I've lived in Japan, China, Thailand, and I spent significant time in other countries too. So what that does is that makes me, lose one group of friends and then have another. So I've had that experience, and I've had to improvise holidays. And a lot of you guys listening, you're listening, and you're in one place, or you're in one country, and you basically maybe are in a different situation, but in a sense kind of the same, because not having friends, family, not doing the social thing, right? Not being part of society, not doing what you're supposed to do, or being denied it, because it could be a lot of reasons why you don't have a family with you. Like your wife could have passed away, earthquake, anything could have happened that would make you suddenly not one of the standard members of society. When you're part of the system, you don't even notice the system. It's like a fish in water. But then when you're out of the system, all of a sudden you realize, holy crap, like, this is scary. Like, what am I going to do? What am I supposed to do here? I remember my first holiday overseas, and I did not know what to do. It was my birthday, actually. It was my first holiday overseas. And no, it was New Year's Eve. I did New Year's Eve in Paris in 1987. And it was very, very exciting. My camera got stolen. I got in a fight. I got it back. I went out. It was bonne année, bonne année. Everybody yelling bonne année, and like very exciting. I was down in downtown Paris, and it was super, super exciting, actually. And I realized that New Year's Eve was much better in Paris than it was where I grew up. I mean, it was like super exciting, man. I mean, I'm telling you, like in Paris, downtown Paris, New Year's Eve was crazy, man. It was so fun. And there was girls everywhere, and it was exciting, man. It was super exciting. So yeah, exactly, right? It can suck, right? Not having your family and not being part of society. Like, the thing is, we got two things, right? You got your logical mind, and then you got your emotional mind. So I really want to make, my channel is all about real. Like, what really do you really feel? It's not about bravado. Hey, I don't give a fuck, like I'm a man, like men don't care about that. It's not the way it is. Like, you can even logically not care about something, but you can emotionally care a lot, right? And it can bother you, and it can really affect your life, right? So how do you deal with holidays? How do you deal with not being part of society? How do you deal with neighbors? I mean, the pressure can really come from anywhere. The pressure can come from neighbors. It can come from friends. It can come from family. It can come from even the freaking television can shame you, right? You're supposed to be doing certain things on holidays, right? You're supposed to be a certain way. You're supposed to believe a certain thing in life. That's the way it is, guys. And if you don't, then you're kind of a bad person, right? If you don't believe in Jesus, or you don't like Christmas or whatever. No, I've always been, just to tell you my background, I've always loved holidays. So I've always been like, I love people, I love holidays. I don't hate women at all. I love women. I love feminine energy. I went to the Loy Krathong festival yesterday, and by the way, that's my replacement for Thanksgiving. It's a very cool holiday. I can describe it. I can leave. some pictures below, but it's super awesome. It's on the same day as Thanksgiving here, so that's kind of my replacement for Thanksgiving. It's actually better. I mean, swear, Loy Krathong is awesome, but it's very much a feminine holiday. The girls light candles and they put them out on these little banana boats, or they light candles and they put them into a lantern, and the heat from the candle causes the lantern to rise up. And all these beautiful like paper lanterns fly up into the sky. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, it's so beautiful. It really is so beautiful. And the little girls love it. I really wanted to be able to take my daughter there this year. And even though she's just newborn, I wanted to introduce her to Loy Krathong, but I wasn't able to. But it's a very feminine holiday, and I enjoy that. And that's my kind of replacement in Thailand for Thanksgiving. So a lot of it is about replacement. You take one thing and you switch it up and you switch it with another. But there's so many ways to do it. Let me tell you my ideas, like ways I've dealt with it over the years, right? One of the things I do is, okay, like for example in Shanghai, right? I lived just behind the Ritz-Carlton. I had an apartment there. And so what I would do is the Ritz-Carlton had this little supermarket. And I will tell you, what I did the first year was, the very first year in Shanghai, I paid the big money and I went to a 5-star hotel and I had a full-on Thanksgiving dinner. Like, you know, all the fixings, you know, like really well done, with a bunch of other Americans, and we had a good time. But I tell you, I don't know, I just had this kind of empty feeling when I was done. I just didn't feel like, it wasn't me. Like, I'm not like an expat who's like lonely for home. I'm not like that type. I don't need to recreate life exactly overseas. I'm not that type. I know a lot of guys really enjoy that, so I don't want to put it down. It's like, that's not me. So I realized it was kind of fake for me, because, you know, really for me, Thanksgiving isn't even about turkey. It's about, Thanksgiving is about, like my mom. My mom's a really good cook, and so she makes some awesome food, right? And, you know, sitting down, having a great dinner with my mom is something I really enjoy. Luckily, my mom's still alive and healthy, and one of my good friends from childhood is going over there today, and they're gonna celebrate Thanksgiving with my mom, which is cool. And I'm sure they'll have a good time. But see, I'm away from that now, so I don't have that. So to me, like a lot of it is just it's a combination of logical, illogical, emotional things that help me to get through these things and help me to really live my life the way I want. Because this isn't just about the holidays, guys. This is about living outside of society and having a strong foundation as a man, where you don't need other people to tell you how you should be, or what you should be, or where you should be, or how you should act, how you should think. It's about breaking away from that. So what I do is I do a mix of stuff, right? So one thing I do is the Ritz-Carlton had a supermarket, and they have a really nice chicken. And so the chicken is a baked chicken. It's really nice. It costs like less than $10. It's super nice. And so what I would do is I would buy that chicken for Thanksgiving when I was in Shanghai, because the first year, like I said, I tried to do it exactly American, and it sucked. I didn't like it. The food wasn't nearly as good as my mom's food, and my mom's won a ton of cooking contests and things like that, so this is not an emotional thing, like she actually is a good cook. But so I realized that I'll just do something that kind of gives me the flavor of a turkey and you know, holidays, without exactly doing it. So that's what I do. I do my little chicken when I'm in Shanghai. I buy a baked chicken, and I eat it, and I really enjoy it. I eat a whole freaking chicken. I make sure that I get really full, and that's kind of it's a nice, for me, it's a very nice, it's a nice little compromise, you know? It's like, I feel better about that than if I bought a turkey, because you could buy a turkey overseas, but a lot of the things that you do back home are super expensive when you do them abroad. So it becomes a different thing. Like when I'm home, people just kind of take me in their houses, right? They're like, hey, Ronin, come over. We're having a Thanksgiving dinner, you know, why don't you join us? You know, we'd love to have you. And that's always nice too. I enjoy that too. I'm not against being part of a holiday, no matter what holiday it is. I enjoy it, right? I enjoy it. I'm here at a little Thai shrine. It's quite Loy Krathong, so it's quite happening right now. They got the fruit, they got the stuff for the gods to eat, and the fresh flowers. These are real flowers, these aren't fake flowers. Thai stuff is very freaking real. You know, that's what I like about it. It's not like some countries' holidays are so fake, you know. But either way, so I have this one thing. So sometimes I'll substitute one little thing, and that's all I need, man. I don't need like the turkey. I don't need the mashed potatoes. I don't need the gravy. Just the chicken. That's enough for my brain, where I can enjoy that chicken, and I can really savor that chicken, you know. And I can say, hey, you know, I can feel the flavor, because really, what's the difference between a fucking chicken and a fucking turkey, right? There ain't been no big difference. And I know people that are my friends that are vegan, they have to find other solutions that can interchange with these man-made things. And you know, one thing I do think to myself, one thing I like to do is I like to introduce people to my culture, right? And a lot of people don't think that there is culture in the West or in America, and a lot of people are embarrassed of themselves, and they think that the only culture is somewhere else. But that's not true. Human beings take their culture wherever they go. And there's some wonderful culture in America, a very interesting mix of people that went to that country and or that location, and they made a lot of cool things. And so you do have a very wide variety of traditions in America, culture for different holidays. And I enjoy those, so what I do is I like to introduce these to people. So sometimes if I have, let's say, a friend or a girlfriend or whatever, a girl I'm boning or whatever, I'll take her and I'll kind of introduce her to things that I did, because I grew up on the beach, and so we had Christmas. We would go surfing on Christmas. That's the big thing, you know. And I know Australians are the same way. It was winter for us, but it was warm, you know, it was pretty warm. So Southern California, so we'd go surfing. So like Santa Claus, you'd be out surfing, you'd see a guy in a Santa Claus outfit surfing, right? And that's like a thing, right? Santa Claus surfing, right? So that's kind of what I do too. I look around for other countries or other areas that have a similar situation as me, whether it's climate or whatever, and I enjoy those kind of things too, because to me, Santa Claus surfs, man. He can fucking surf. Santa Claus can take off on a fucking wave, you know. He's not bullshit, you know. He's got some guts, you know. And usually it's a pretty big wave, you know. Santa usually drops in on the decent sized set, you know. Which I like, you know. Santa's got balls, you know. But okay, so that's one thing. But what I like to do is I like to introduce people to my culture. So one thing I do is I will you know, if I have, let's say, say I'm boning a Thai chick or whatever, I'll take her and I'll show her what I do. And it's often very interesting, because my take on holidays is not the same as a movie, American movie. And an intelligent person can see that and can really enjoy that. And as somebody who cares about you can enjoy seeing through your eyes, right? You're kind of just showing them the world through your eyes. And that's a beautiful thing. And you can see the world through their eyes too, which is a very cool thing, because most people don't see shit. All they see is fucking movies, and then in their mind is like some fucking subconscious pile of crap running around doing, like, most people don't see anything. They don't even experience life in front of them. They're living in a dream. They're literally living in a dream. So one thing I like about living out of society is that I don't live in a dream, and I experience my emotions and my feelings in real time. Like, I actually have feelings. I get angry, I get sad, I cry, you know what I mean? I get happy, you know, I get hopeful. I have feelings, right? I don't dampen these feelings. I enjoy and I actually listen to my feelings. And I think that feelings are super freaking important, because they are my guide to my life. They tell me who I am and what I like. And they give me a roadmap for where I should go and what I should do next and what I should avoid. Feelings are very, very important. I talked about this in the last episode. A lot of guys don't understand that. Your feelings are not some touchy-feely thing. They're kind of like the instruments on your car. They tell you when the engine's overheated. They tell you when you're past the red line. They tell you all kinds of important things about your life, not somebody else's life. So I feel sad sometimes during holidays too. Okay, so what do I do then? I try to, it depends on the year. I've been overseas 30 years, so many times, many holidays. many different things. So one thing I'll do, like I said, is I'll switch holidays. I'll celebrate the local, whatever that is, right? I'll celebrate the local holiday instead of whatever, Thanksgiving or something like that. I'll just enjoy Loy Krathong, right? And that's cool. That's totally cool. But sometimes every once in a while, guys, I'll be in a situation where I'll be kind of sad. Like everybody will be around me having a nice holiday, and I don't feel part of it. One thing I often feel is when I go home, one of my friends that I grew up with, he always invites me over for Thanksgiving. Him and his wife do a big turkey bash. In fact, they make 2 frickin' turkeys. That's how big they do it. They have 2 turkeys, full-size turkeys, and I go over there and everything is perfect. Like Christmas is ready, the turkeys are perfect, all the stuffing and everything is like completely American, essentially, because that's what most people do. I'm not saying my friend is doing this, but a lot of people in this world aren't even doing what they want. They're just following some kind of recipe for what they think they're supposed to do in life, right? Now, I don't know if he does that or if he really enjoys all these details, but either way, he goes all out and spends the big money. Thanksgiving is a total bash, and so he always invites me when I'm home, and a lot of people invite me because I'm a single guy, so a lot of families like to have me around because I like kids like me, it's always kind of a good environment. I don't drink, so I don't, do something weird. So I just basically come and have a good time and enjoy. I really enjoy my time when I'm with a family enjoying the holidays. I'm not anti-family, right, at all. I enjoy watching happy people. I enjoy watching people, do their thing, whatever it is, their culture thing. I really enjoy that. I mean, if it's Americans or Canadians or whatever, the UK, I like to watch people in the complexity that they are, right? That they live. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a fight here. I think they're messing around here. This is cool. Oh no, this is great. This is men, right? This is men. Men having fun. Yeah. He's teaching the guy some stuff here. Let's see here. He's going to show him, kick him on the neck there. Yep, he's got him. This is my Thanksgiving, right? Yeah, nice. All right. So, oh, good. I'm sorry. So I enjoy my life in real time. So that's what I do when I go. People always invite me, so I go. But there's always this kind of feeling for me of emptiness because I'm just, 30 years abroad, right? I lived in America for about 20 something years, and then now I've been overseas for 30. So in some ways I'm kind of less American than foreign in some ways, like I really, you change over time, you really do. So I don't get as lonely as I used to get on the holidays. But I want to talk about everything I've done over the years that helped me to be able to be comfortable in my own skin wherever I am, right? So that's one thing I do. I really enjoy and I appreciate, and I really do appreciate when someone invites me to their home and shows me their holiday, right? So that's one thing. I let people know too that I'm open to it, right? So people know, like, Ronin Man is like up for it, You're having a freaking holiday, you're around, Ronin Man would love to be there, right? I love it. It's interesting, it's fun. And I often have a great time, and I meet tons of people, and I really enjoy talking to kids too. So like often I get into like deep discussions with the kids, no matter how old they are. And people are always like, how do you talk so deep to the kids, I'm like, I don't know, I just kind of be myself, right? And so that's one thing I do. Other times I would say, let me talk about my more lonely holidays, my more difficult holidays. There are times when no matter what plans I have, call my friends or replace this holiday for that, or, like my logical thinking about how to deal as a single guy who doesn't fit in, like sometimes it all doesn't work. There are times when I'll have a holiday that's like just brutal. Like everybody around me seems to be happy, or like loving and family. And, especially right now with not having my my baby is really difficult. It's not something I can write off. It's not something I don't have any easy answers for that one. And actually, I'm glad I don't, because there aren't any. So, you know, sometimes life is difficult, right? And life is struggle, as they say in Hinduism, right? Life is struggle sometimes. And this is the reality of life. And so I accept the reality of life. You know, I accept that life is not always easy, right? Sometimes life is very difficult, right? So what I do is, let's say on my worst holidays, like my very, very worst ones, how do I handle it? Like the ones that really suck. You know what I mean? Like I'm just fucking lonely. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I did something. The thing that always bothers me the most, personally, is when I do something to sabotage myself. So if somebody else fucks me over, I can deal with that. But if I do something that really hurts me, you know, because of my own weaknesses, that's difficult. That is like the most difficult thing. And I remember one holiday when I was just really feeling bad. I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was in Japan. It was freezing cold. I was by myself. I had gone down to southern Japan for holiday, and I had messed up my leg. I broke my leg. And so what happened was it was holiday, so I told the doctor, I said, hey, you know, can you take the cast off early? And so, you know, he looked at me and he said, sure, because it was already, you know, time to take it off, basically. He took it off, and I went on holiday, and I don't know, I just didn't feel good that holiday. I just didn't feel physically good, you know, and so I kept walking and walking, and I remember on New Year's Day, it was very, very cold, and I was at a little island where Momotaro, which is one of the fictional characters in Japan, was born. He came out of a peach in this island, and so I was there, and there's kind of a walkway where you walk to 38, I think it's 38 temples, and so I started walking to the temples, and I walked, I don't know how many miles, I forget what it is. I think it was about 30 miles that day in the mountains. And I had a lot of great experiences, actually. I ran into like a million monkeys. I mean, like literally like insane amount of monkeys. It was so crazy. One of the most insane situations, me and like a billion monkeys around me. Like literally, like as far as I could see, just monkeys everywhere. And I knew they're dangerous, you know, so they actually can beat you up, you know, they can kill you. And there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Who knows how many they were on top of this mountain. I had no idea. I walked up there alone, and it was freezing cold, and then they surrounded me like a freaking movie, right? So either way, so I was not feeling good physically, and it was a holiday, and it was really cold. Like it was really cold that day. Like I was walking a long way, so I stayed a little bit warm, but it was freaking cold, man. My face was burning, like my skin was red, you know, like my eyes could barely stay open sometimes because it was so cold that the tears, you know, like on my eyes, like I didn't have goggles on or anything. It was freaking cold, and it was freaking windy on top of that mountain. And I walked, like I said, over 30 miles that day. I think it was actually over 40 miles. Either way, there's a map that tells you how far, so I know, I can't remember what it was, but it was a lot, right? So I felt bad, and then as the day went by, I didn't know what to do. It was like a holiday. I hadn't taken anybody with me, no friends, no girls. And I was walking and walking, and I just didn't feel physically good, but I couldn't really put a finger on what was going on. I just like, as the day dragged on, I just felt more and more tired. The monkey thing was cool, but everything was closed in Japan. Like all the restaurants were closed. I had to like basically beg for food. I had to knock on someone's closed door at their house and offer to buy food, because they're literally in this little island. There was no businesses that were open because it was Japanese New Year's holiday. So I got my food, but they gave me some kind of bread or something or whatever. Like I was starving, and I wasn't feeling physically good, and I couldn't put a finger on it. That's the worst thing. I just couldn't put a finger on what was wrong. So then I was walking, and then all of a sudden I got to the harbor. I took the boat back to the mainland, and I could see that I wanted to go to this Kenkolando to sleep, and you get like a nice bath, and they have huge baths, and so I was gonna go there, and I figured, well, fuck it, I'll just walk. I've already walked, you know, whatever, million miles today, so why don't I just walk to this thing? So I started walking, and all of a sudden, like my body just gave out, like literally just gave out, like literally. I didn't know what to do. I felt my body just giving out, and I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, was like, shit. So I threw my pants down because I felt my whole body collapsing, and I didn't know what was happening, like I said. And so I just suddenly literally just let loose all across the street. There's like people walking down the street. There's like ladies walking, and this foreigner just like whips his pants down and just explodes. And I vomited at the same time, and I could not figure out what the fuck was going on with my body. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And I was so embarrassed, because I basically took a massive diarrhea crap all over the fucking street, right in front of everybody. I only had like 100th of a second notice, so there's no way I could. It was just like suddenly, right? And I was just feeling so down. And I didn't even know what the fuck was wrong with my body. And it was holiday, it was New Year's, and I was alone, it was cold, and I wasn't physically feeling good. And then when I went back to the doctor in Tokyo, the doctor said, oh my God, he said, your leg is still broken. He said, you've been walking on a broken leg. And so that's what happened. He had taken off the cast too early, and my leg was still broken. So like the bone was not together. I was walking on a broken leg over 30 miles in mountains in freezing cold weather. And I'm pretty tough, so I was like beating myself up like, you fucking pussy, just keep going. Just what the fuck is wrong with you? You're so lazy. That's what I was telling myself. And then I didn't realize that I had a fucking broken leg. And so, then it was like this big discussion about should they put metal in my leg, and I didn't want any metal in my leg. And it turns out, 4 months of rest, the bone actually, because meat had formed between the bones. Because I had been walking on it so long, the body has to adjust. So there was meat between the bones, and the doctor told me, he said, well, if you don't want metal, he says, the one thing you can do is don't fucking move your leg for a long time. And if you're very lucky, he said, a little stream of bone might sneak through that meat. And then once it does, then the rest will come and the bone will heal naturally. So that's what I did. I totally relaxed for like 4 months. I used crutches. I didn't move my leg. I was very careful. And the leg grew together without having any metal in my leg. I don't like having like foreign objects in my body. So I survived that. But basically what it was just one of these miserable, lonely holidays. And the way I dealt with it was I walked. I fucking walked, man. I walked like a madman. And that turns you into a meditative state after a while. It really helps. Meditative state really, really helps, because a lot of the reasons why you feel bad is because you're not in a meditative state, really. Honestly, that's like one of the main reasons why you get PTSD. Basically, PTSD, the best way to deal with PTSD is to meditate and to do yoga. And your body cannot go into a PTSD state when you are relaxed. It's impossible. So you have to get yourself to relax, and that's what I did. Hey, yeah, what are you doing there? Cruising on the little shrine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any food. Sorry. No food for you. If I would have known. A little shrine here. They always have these little shrines. They always have Fanta for the gods. I don't know why. Always Fanta. Red Fanta. See that? Always red Fanta. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. No problem. He's big. Oh yeah. He came up behind me. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're doing their guard dog thing. Being guard dogs. Doing what they're supposed to do. We all have a program, right? And we do it naturally. But yeah, so the thing is that I think that walk really helped me that day. And obviously walking also helped me in the way that I found out what my problem was, is that I freaking still had a broken leg. And that was pretty cool to find that out, because I don't know if I would have found it out in Tokyo, because I didn't walk so long. Like I needed to walk that far to realize my body had to give out, because I ignore pain kind of guy. So I just like, my grandmother used to take cookie sheets out of the oven without a mitt. I don't know if it's something in our genes or something, but That's what she used to do. She used to take bare hands, take sheets of like the glass ones with like baked goods on them. She'd just take them out with her freaking hands. She always had her teeth drilled with no Novocaine. So whatever, I don't know if I got a little bit of that, but either way, I dealt with that holiday. And so what you want to do is sometimes things are going to be bad. Sometimes things are going to be hard. So no matter what you plan or what you do, some days are going to be lonely and they're not going to be what you want. And I guess one logical thing you can think, which doesn't really help that much, but is just to realize that there's a lot of people out there doing the traditional holidays and it sucks for them too. There's, holidays, I mean, they were not designed by you. You know what I mean? Like I want to have my own holiday for myself. Like Ronin Man fucking overcomes this. Ronin Man does this, Like that's my holiday, right? My Independence Day. And then things like that, right? But the holidays that were force-fed, essentially, are just made up by somebody else. And I don't have a resentment. I like holidays. I mean, I'm just saying, like, this is what you can think when you're having a difficult time, right? When things are going great, you can enjoy these things and enjoy them as much as anybody else or even more because you don't fit into society, right? This is not your life. You are not a fucking drone. You're not a robot. You're out there, you're independent, man. Your thinking's independent. Where you go is independent. The way you live is just not like everybody else, And, that's a cool thing, right? It's like, it's a very strong thing to be somebody who doesn't have to fit in, And what it does is it creates a muscle in you where you become stronger, Because being a fucking yes man in life does not make you stronger, okay? I'm here to tell you this. You know this, but it's so true. Being a yes man, doing what society wants, and no matter what you do, it's not enough anyway. Society will always want more. There's always some little like turkey dressing you don't have. There's always some new politically correct way of looking at a holiday that's not right. You're never going to be perfect, right? So you're always going to be having to deal with it at some level. But as a single guy who chooses to be single and chooses to travel, you have more challenges than others because there's no you don't have any base because it's just you, right? So one of the dangers that exists for guys like us is that we can drink too much because, I don't drink, as everybody knows. I went to AA and all that, but it's a serious thing because when you don't have anybody to tell you what to do, it's easy to let your own vices get out of control. Because, you know what I mean? You don't have nobody's watching the shop, right? It's just you. So you have to enjoy your life and to live a good life. You need to start to take responsibility for who you are and what you want to do, right? You have to start saying, hey, I'm gonna control myself on these vices because no one else is going to control me. Because I'll tell you something, this is a big thing. I tell you something in AA, I've gone to AA since 1987. I tell you one thing, the main reason why guys get sober, one of the biggest reasons, number one is wife left. That's it. The wife left. That's always like so common. That is the catalyst for guys making serious change in their life is that the wife left. And so, and I don't want to say that in a bad way because that is what motivates them to change and improve their life. And often the wife never comes back and they have a great life ever after. And they're super glad she's not there. But it's not always. Sometimes they're sad, right? But the thing is that fear and motivation of having to change your life totally, move your houses, the fear of financial loss, estrangement from children, things like this is all very real. So it's a scary thing, right? It's not just the wife, right? It's all these other things. Families, friends, money, it's all these other things that you're scared about, right? But either way, that's what gives main guys motivation to stop drinking, right? Because it's not easy, right? Because to change, right? To change something, you have to be honest with yourself. And that's what I talked about yesterday with the covert abuse, is when you are not able to be honest with yourself. You can't see your flaws. You can't accept that you are not perfect. This is when everything falls apart, essentially, is when you start to attack on the sly, or you have covert anger, and you're basically passive aggressive for your life because you're not happy, or you're not able to deal with your own life, right? This is a very common thing, and envy and jealousy is the most common thing, is when people can't deal with their lives. They can't deal with their wants, desires, skills. They can't they don't have healthy mechanisms to deal with their life, so they go into kind of a Cold War rampage in their mind that they obviously don't declare in the newspaper. It's just in their minds, right? And you only know that if you're around them a lot, and you realize, holy crap, there's a lot of anger here. Like, there's a lot of fucking weird stuff going on. And he's like, so the thing is, when you want to quit, make a big change, you need to realize that you're the problem. It's your life. You have to accept that. And I think that's one thing that drives me crazy about MGTOW channels is the inability to accept responsibility for your life. It is absolutely essential. It is not women's fault that you are living the life you're living. It is not. You're kidding yourself. You are absolutely kidding yourself. Your life is your responsibility. Now, I'm not saying that people can't do things that are unfair and can cause a lot of pain, right? Somebody could kill your sister, and that's fucking not fair. And it's going to be, she's never going to come back, right? You know what I mean? Like, there are things people can do that are just terrible, like that have no recourse. But you still have a choice of how you're going to live your life after that. You have a choice. You're responsible for your life, right? Period. And there are solutions to turn a bad situation into a great situation. There really are. There really are. There's deep dive mechanisms that you can improve your life. And if you don't believe that, you are mad. It's okay if you don't believe it now, but just let it sit, man. Let it sit. It is very, very true. And this is actually a serious message of hope right there. But yeah, so how else do I deal with not being part of society, right? Okay, let's see. One other thing I have done, and this is like, for me, very effective. I don't know if you guys will like this or not, but this one really works for me. What I'll do is, let's say I'm in a holiday and everybody's out having a good time. Let's say something like Valentine's Day. And there's a lot of reasons why I would be alone on Valentine's Day. One of the reasons was back in the days when I had so many girls, I couldn't be with any of them because they would kind of track me down. And Tokyo's not that big in some ways, like where you go on dates, And next thing you know, the girls would, find out where I was, and then it was like a nightmare. So even though they knew it was open relations, they didn't like it, right? Especially on Valentine's Day. So I'd be alone on Valentine's Day, even when I had a million girlfriends. And same thing with times when I just, whatever reason, new to a country or whatever, I don't have anything to do on Valentine's Day. And those days can be difficult because, like I said, it's just so complex, right? Because part of your mind is like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have this situation, right? I'm just, like my last Valentine's Day sucked, or whatever. You have logical, basically, I'm not saying anything about myself. I'm just saying, like, you have some logical things that you're thinking, right? That make you feel better sometimes, but sometimes those don't work. So when they don't work, you need another way to look at it. So what I do, and this works for me, this really, 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 really works for me. So I want to say it. I've never heard it anywhere else. Here's what I do. As expat Ronin, traveling the world for most of my life, what I do when I don't know what to do, basically, on a holiday, and I'm lonely and things are not good. And I don't want you guys to get the impression that my holidays are lonely. My holidays are freaking awesome. But there's a lot of holidays in the world, over 30 years, And also you have holidays from these other countries too. So you have to deal with that. Like when I'm talking about holidays, I'm talking about Japanese holidays, Thai holidays, Chinese holidays, Indian holidays, Philippine holidays. They all affect you emotionally at some level because you're like alone or whatever it is, you don't know how to celebrate it or whatever. Either way, you have some emotional reaction that's not fun. So what I will do, and this is my secret weapon, and it's fucking awesome, by the way, is I will make a decision in the morning. Okay, let's say it's one of those days when I don't want to do my kind of half-ass thing, or it's not buy a chicken to celebrate Thanksgiving Day. It's just like, I don't really have anything. I don't have any plan. All my friends are busy. I don't want to hang out with friends that day, whatever reason, what I will do is I will go out. And I will go out to places where I know that people are going to be celebrating. Okay, so let's say on Valentine's Day, I'll go out to like kind of the cool part of town, right? Wherever, you know, in Tokyo it would be Harajuku, Shibuya, and I will walk around. And what I will do is I will decide in advance that what I'm going to do, okay, what I'm going to do that day is I'm going to watch everybody, okay, but I'm not just going to watch them for 5 minutes. I'm going to watch people for the whole day. Okay, the reason why this is so powerful is because when you see people first, so your emotional brain will see like a couple meeting, right? And the guy will be kissing her, he'll be all happy and stuff. She's all cold. She's all wet. Nice. Hey, it's okay. So she's enjoying the sprinkler there. So, you know, what I'll do is I will watch them, but I will watch them with an eye of watching them for the whole day, the complete day, okay? So, you know, I won't let myself get caught up in the moment, like the best moment of the holiday, because what your brain wants to do when you're feeling bad is your brain will be like, oh, you know, I'm alone, they're all having fun, you know, it's easy for them, life is easy, why couldn't my life be like that, you know, this kind of thing, right? So your brain is going to start telling you stuff, and I don't care how Ronin you are, this kind of stuff can happen. Your brain can be hijacked by these emotional triggers, right? So what I do is I look at it with a long ball eye, okay? So it's kind of like the way you look at a child and you think of yourself, this child is going to be an old man or old woman at some point. I wonder what they're going to look like. I wonder what they're going to experience. I wonder what life has in store for them. I wonder what the world will be like, right? It's that kind of looking at, you're not just looking at the kid as like right now, you're kind of looking at more like long-term, right? A lifespan, right? So what I do is I look at the day in a lifespan mode. So I will look at people meeting in the morning or whatever it is that they meet on that holiday, kissing, happy, holding hands, and then I will, you know, hang out, right? I'll hang out for the day. So I'll go out and, you know, go eat some food where they eat, and I'll watch what they talk about. You know, I'll be listening to people. I speak Japanese and Chinese, so I can sit there and listen. People are talking about this, talking about that, and, you know, kind of enjoying just being part of a social situation, because I kind of enjoy, if I'm, say I'm alone and I'm feeling a little bit lonely, right? Which is not a common feeling, but it does happen. What I do in that case is I kind of observe other people's happiness. So I let their happiness kind of what do you call it? Like stick onto me. So if I see, you know, it doesn't have to be my friends. I don't have to even know them. If I see a happy old man with his grandchildren throwing them around, I can enjoy his happiness, even though I don't know the guy, you know? I can look at his face and I can say, God, that guy's having a great time. That's awesome. That old man is really enjoying those kids. He's throwing them around. I love throwing kids around. Like, it's so fun, roughhousing, and just, you know, like enjoying kids, the way they act. Right? So I'm watching this guy and I can enjoy that. I can enjoy that even though I don't know the guy, don't know his name, don't speak his language, whatever, I can still enjoy. So that's what when I'm in these situations. But at the same time, the key thing, what I'm doing, is I'm watching the couples long term. Now, it's not exactly the same couples, because I might meet some couple in the morning and then the afternoon is a different couple, but it's kind of the same couple when you really think about it. The way people act, the way that love is kind of like it's a little bit like a formula. It is. It's kind of a formula. It's like very similar. Like all couples kind of have a lot of things in common, right? So I will watch them, and as the day rolls on, this is the interesting thing. If you want to be in pain all the time, you can just think of the good moments of being in a relationship, right? You can just say, oh, the day when she did this, or the day that we did that, and then you can get lonely and you can make yourself miserable. But the way to make yourself have a more realistic view emotionally is to look at the whole thing, not just one moment, but long term. What's going on? What's really going on? So I'll start watching the couples, and as the day rolls on, you'll see a few different things happen. One thing you might see happen is they might get drunk, right? You might see them kind of like And when you're drinking with somebody, often the reason why you're drinking is because you're a tiny bit uncomfortable. There's a tiny bit of something going on there, right? That's why you might want to drink with somebody, right? Maybe you had a fight before and you're like, okay, I don't want to have a fight this time. I'm going to enjoy myself. I know a lot of people, they get home to their wives and they drink. The reason why they drink is because they're not happy with her. They don't like her anymore. She doesn't like them, or she's cheating on them. There's something painful happening. And so the guy will drink and he'll kid himself saying, oh, I'm just having a few beers. The reality is he's really not happy with his life, right? Really not happy. And it's like painful, right? So the best thing he can do is have a few beers, watch the game, and make the best of it, right? And don't tell anybody. That's his solution for his relationship unhappiness. But when I watch people, I can spot these things, I can spot these things. And a lot of times I'll be watching people, and I'll be watching couples, and let's say the girl is checking her phone all the time and then smiling and sending messages. And I think to myself, well, fuck, if I was that guy, how would I feel about that? How would I feel if the girl that I'm taking out to a nice dinner, steak dinner, was emailing somebody or texting somebody and smiling and not telling me who it was? I wouldn't like that. And I wouldn't do that to somebody else either, right? I'm not going to text. It's very rude. It's very not nice to do that to somebody. But you'll see that. You'll see couples doing that. And you'll see guys accepting it. He doesn't know if it's a woman or man, or if a guy's sending a dick pic. He doesn't know. And when you're on the opposite end of this, your imagination kind of goes crazy, right? You start thinking like, geez, what's going on? Like, why is she so happy, right? It's all going on in your mind, but a lot of guys don't feel confident enough to say anything. And so they just kind of sit there and take it, and they're like getting more and more angry. And then finally they say, oh, you're texting too much on their phone. But they really want to say is, show me, are you cheating on me? Like that's what the guys really want to know. Or they're feeling like some insane pain over this, but they can't even verbalize it. When they finally do verbalize it, they just kind of, you know what I mean? They just kind of like say something else. Whereas the reality, they're feeling very, very sad and very, very afraid even that things are going to change. By the way, this is the shrine I was at the other night. It was beautiful. I came here for Loic Carthon yesterday. Was it yesterday? Fuck, it was only yesterday. Or maybe it was the day before. Either way, it was beautiful here, man. There's all the girls putting out their candles on the little banana boats here, like hundreds, thousands of these little boats floating in the water. I'll see if I can find a picture and post it. It's really cool. So cool. I really do, guys. I'm masculine, right? I'm a man. So I love the feminine energy. I love it. It's something like I don't have as much, Everybody's got a little bit of both, but, I enjoy that feminine energy. And Loic Carthon is a really feminine holiday. It's super feminine. Like you can feel the feminine energy. Like no guys, light candles and let them go. It's all either little girls or young women or sometimes older women. There's a lot of reasons why they do it. One of the reasons is to kind of let go of the bad juju for the year. So the bad feelings of whatever happened or something, bad luck, and they're kind of like letting it go. And they're going to say, I'm going to have a great year this year. So it's a neat holiday, right? It's a neat thing. And I was here for it. It was great. I'll see if I can post a picture underneath. I'll have to host it somewhere and then put it underneath. So what I'll do is I'll watch these couples, and then what happens a lot of times is they start fighting too. Like they literally start fighting. Couples start fucking fighting on Valentine's Day. Or there's like a Cold War. You can see it on their faces, right? That they're not happy, right? This is a beautiful thing. This is why you want to watch couples, not just in the beginning of the day. You want to watch for the whole day, because when you're watching these guys go through their kind of, like happy meeting, and then you see something else, and then you see something else, it makes it a lot easier on you emotionally, because you remember back to things that happened in your life. And I guess in my mind, I'm not trying to say that there is no benefit to being in a relationship. I think that men and women, we were born to do stuff. Like I'm not saying, but what I am saying is that at the very least, okay, sometimes it's living hell, literally, And other times, it's just not that good. It's not as good as people say. It's not as good as people say. Everybody is out there bullshitting on Facebook, bullshitting on their freaking pictures, bullshitting about their whole lives. I tell you something, I had a friend the other day, this is a true story. He came to me and he said, I took your advice. I went to Japan. I had a great time. I boned a bunch of chicks. It was so good. It was awesome. You know, I went home and I guess him and his wife have some kind of an open relationship or whatever, but it didn't work out too well. She's super angry and she's out now doing her thing and he's very sad. And I know this for a fact, but if you look at their Facebook looks like it's a perfect romantic relationship. Literally. Like this looks like the perfect couple. Like they're both, the guy is handsome, the girl's beautiful, they have a young daughter, it's a very good looking kid, healthy, super happy, curly blonde hair, just a happy looking kid. She's running around all the time doing funny things like kids do. And so the front is this perfect couple, but the reality is very, very different. And any day now, this whole thing could fall apart, and it probably will at some point. And I would go as far as to say it's already falling apart, right? It's already fucking toast, right? Any kind of good feelings are gone, man. It's Cold War, anger, backbiting, stabbing, misery, just misery for both. And, you know, who knows who caused it? I don't know what the deal is, but it's not all, you know, it's not all women's fault, not all men's fault. It's just, these things are complicated, and it can be one person's fault. I should correct that. Yeah, it can absolutely be one person's fault. And, you know, some people sabotage things, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's like a friend who suddenly just fucking doesn't want to be your friend. There's nothing, you don't really have a choice. You know, there are times like that. I had one of my pet peeves is like the idea that it always takes two to tangle, and that's a way of escaping thinking, not having. You need to have a brain, guys. Keep your brain intact. Don't just follow these fucking memes. They're bullshit. Sometimes it takes two to tango, right? Sometimes one person will fucking ruin everything, you know, and the other person tries their best to keep it together, and they can't because the other person doesn't want to be part of it, right? So that can happen. But either way, when I watch the couples and I see them interact over the day, I often see a lot more than they think. I see a lot, man. I see a lot. And that's what you want to do. So if you're alone and you are sitting there going, I wonder what I'm going to do. I wonder how I'm going to react in this holiday. And your brain is telling you that everybody's perfect. Everything's perfect. Try a few of my ideas and see if you can implement them. And because I learned these things from being an expat for 30 years. Like, I can't do fucking holidays like you guys do. They don't exist here. Like Christmas here, it's so different. I can't do, I mean, you know, for one thing, my parents are here, my family's not here, you know, I can't, I literally, even if I wanted to live a perfectly American life, it's not even possible, no matter how much money I had, right? I could spend billions on Christmas and I couldn't make Times Square, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I have to accept the fact that I live overseas and I miss things, you know? I do miss things once in a while, like both I miss them emotionally and also I physically miss them. Something exciting can happen back home, or something very sad, like my grandfather died and I wasn't able to go to the funeral. That was one of my saddest days because I really loved my grandfather. On my mom's side, I really missed him and I really wanted to go, but I had just gone to the States and it just wasn't practical. I had a new job and I was not able to be there. And that's one thing I accept as an expat, is that I won't be able to be there for every moment of every day. Now, sometimes it works out in the end because when my best friend got married, I wasn't able to be at the wedding. And then she fucked over and started sleeping with a doctor. And he was like almost suicidal for like 10 years. And she ruined his life. And he allowed her, I mean, he was part of it too, right? But either way, there was a lot of damage in that relationship, a lot of damage that was not very fixable for them. And so the fact that I missed their wedding wasn't really a big deal in the end, you know? So a lot of times you miss stuff, but it's actually, you find out that it didn't really matter. You know, like I'm actually glad I wasn't at their wedding now because it was almost like a bad omen to be there, you know what I mean? Because like the wedding, the relationship ended up being so bad, right? Turning so bad that I was super glad that I wasn't tainted by being there, essentially. like to fake vows of love and fake commitments, because there was no fucking love. It was just selfishness and cruelty and lack of empathy and betrayal. That was their relationship. And also bankruptcy. They went bankrupt 3 times. He went bankrupt 3 times trying to buy things to make her happy. And it just didn't work. And again, I don't condone this kind of behavior, but either way, he was a good friend. I grew up with him. We had a lot of shared experiences. We all have our own journeys, and I care about him, and it sucks that he went through that, And I also will say this, I feel the same way about a woman who gets fucked over by a guy. I mean, that sucks. To me, it's the same. People get fucked over. I care about people, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. If somebody gets fucked over by some lying bonehead, that ain't cool. That ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. And it doesn't really matter who it was. I feel sympathy for them. So there you are, guys. You won't always fit in. There are a lot of things you can do to adjust, There's a lot of ways that you can compromise. You can watch people so you can see the reality, the freaking reality of these holidays, right? It ain't what people put on, man. It's fake, like my friend's Facebook portfolio or profile. It's freaking fake, man. It ain't what they're putting on, man. And they ain't a happy couple. That's one thing you got to realize is a lot of stuff emotionally. You got to realize a lot of stuff people do is freaking fake. And a lot of people are happy with that. Like seriously, a lot of people are pretty happy with having a fake life. They think that's okay, a fake life is all right for them, maybe they don't even know what a real life is. Seriously, there are people out there, a lot of people who don't even understand what a real life is. They don't know what real empathy is, what real feeling is. They are fucking clueless about what's going on. And when you get in a relationship with these type of people, holy shit, watch out, man. Holy crap, that's dangerous. Because they're happy with a fake life, There are people who are like that, who just, as long as they have, like a guy who's just, as long as he's got his wife by his side, he feels like, I'm the man, I'm the man, I got children, I got a fucking house, don't fuck with me, man. I got everything. I'm the man of the house. Never mind she's cheating. Never mind I'm miserable. Never mind that I'm in love with somebody that I went to school with. Never mind that I never did the profession I wanted because I always had to do the expedient thing, the necessary thing for the family. And I had a life of compromise and mediocrity and unhappiness. Never mind that everything I watch on TV is boring. Never mind that every joke I say is boring. That I'm living like a zombie. That I hate my career. And the only reason why I'm doing my career is because, I did a part-time job when I was 25 and it ended up, getting a promotion and, doing it longer and longer. And I wanted to, I wanted to be a writer. Or I wanted to help people. I wanted to be a professional surfer or whatever. It's like, never mind that everything's a lie. Oh, never mind about that. I'm the man. This is the way a lot of people live. And so you got to be careful because these guys are poison because they actually think this way. This is what they believe. They're like, I'm fucking the man. You aren't because you didn't make the commitment. You didn't stick with it, It's like, dude, I don't even know what to say. Like I in fact, don't say anything because there is nothing you can say. When someone is that deluded and that angry and that they're going to be very, very resentful. This is poison. You have to watch out in yourself too. I'm not warning you about other people here. I'm warning you about human emotion here, right? Part of your life is taking responsibility, like I said earlier, and that is doing what you want to do and making the changes that you need to make. And, like, for example, that guy who thinks he's a man and he's got the wife and kids that he doesn't really enjoy and doesn't like the situation. He doesn't like whatever it is he doesn't like. To make that change, he's going to have to be honest. He's going to have to leave. And he's going to look like the bad guy, right? So when you do what you believe in, sometimes it can be quite difficult, man. It could be not freaking easy, right? Life ain't easy. But I tell you something, having a fake life and having fake everything around you is just I want this channel to motivate you so that you find that fucking unbearable. I want to shake you out of your whatever you're kidding yourself with, so that you say, I fucking hate my job. It sucks. I did my job because of this reason, but when I joined, I fucking found out that it was total bullshit. It wasn't at all like this. I studied to be a doctor. I thought I was going to help people. I ended up ripping them off on these expensive surgeries because that's the only thing I can do to make money and pay the bills, and it's too expensive. And I didn't even know what I was getting into. It's fucking bullshit. I hate this job. I hate the people I work with. I got fucking debt everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I want to shake you out of your complacency, and that you start to be honest with yourself about your relationships, about who you are and what you're doing, and where you work, and how you dress, and how you live your fucking life. You know, change requires, like I said in the last episode, suffering and pain. And it is difficult. It will be difficult. To change is very difficult. To be honest. You know, because sometimes, you know, you might be honest about something that's very difficult, right? You know, I'm talking big change. I'm talking transformation here. Not talking fucking small changes, right? You know, who knows? I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know what your real thing is. You know, there's probably fucking dudes, you know, on the channel who are fucking secretly gay. That's why they hate women. That's possible. You know, I think whatever it is that you find and you get honest with your life, life can get so much better, because the truth truly will set you free. That is one thing I really believe. I mean, it's a rocky road. It ain't easy, but the truth will set you free. But essentially, guess who sets you free? Is you set yourself free. You have the key, right? You got the key. Not women, not the government, not society, not your boss. You got the key, right? Sometimes you won't know it, but you got to believe it. You got to believe it. All right, guys. So that's how I deal with holidays. That's how I deal with life. That's how I deal with not fitting in. That's how I deal with being different. And there's so many positives to being different. There's so many positives that I'm not even talking about. You know, like not fitting in. I should just say this in the end, is like, fuck, dude, like a lot of stuff that people do on these holidays sucks ass. People get into fucking debt over these stupid holidays. Like they don't even care about the holiday, right? They hate the holiday. They don't even believe in the holiday. And then they get into debt over the holiday. And then that debt is hanging over for the whole goddamn year. Until the next year, where they go back into debt over the same holiday they still don't believe in, even less. And now they got this real life pain that is just like burning a fear in their fucking heart, right? So, you know, it's like when you take control and take responsibility for who you are, you can toss these holidays out, or you can really enjoy them. Maybe you will find that there's something you really like that you might really like Christmas. You know, I used to love Christmas. I still do love I like Christmas music. I don't give a fuck what the news says now. It's supposed to get depressed when you listen to Christmas music. I like Christmas music. You know, I like Christmas. I still like Disneyland. I fucking love Disneyland. I grew up going to Disneyland, and I still love Disneyland. And so, you know, there's things in your life that you're just gonna like and you're gonna enjoy. And you can do them more because you don't have to do all the bullshit that you don't like, you know, and that you hate, you know. That's the advantage of being fucking a single guy with his own mind and his own freedom, is that you can choose to do things for real. So when I enjoy a holiday, I actually enjoy the holiday. Like, I might be the only one there, and I think it's kind of contagious. People see me and they're like, this guy is actually having fun. He's actually having fun, you know. And the reason why I'm having fun is because I'm not doing it because I have to, right? And I'm not doing it because everybody wants me to. I'm not doing it because I'm supposed to. I didn't do it last year. Didn't do it the year before. But this year I decided I'm going to really go all out. I'm going to really enjoy it. So that happens too. You know, I might be a certain way with a holiday over the years. But then suddenly one year I'll just say, fuck it. I really want a fucking Christmas this year. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do it right. I'm going to do it in my house. I'm going to cook up all the food. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, or whatever. You know, so give yourself freedom to not, you're no longer a slave, man. You're no longer everybody telling you what to do, and you have to make a commitment to the way you think about things. You can change your viewpoint every goddamn year, right? And that's what that is the natural human thing, man. Guys we get fucking put into boxes like, oh, you changed, man. You said last year you were like this, and now you're feeling change, right? And when you're free, when you're yourself, you can roll with that, baby. And that's what you want to do, because that's the human mind. That's the kind of, I would say that's the part of the feminine spirit of guys, is that we don't always make commitments and want to do the same thing, right? We want new food. We want new flavors. We want new pussy, right? You know, it's fun. It's fucking exciting, right? It's all right, you know, it's just exciting. It's enjoyable. And that's kind of like what I was saying, the Roy Cathon, the feminine spirit. It's just kind of this energy. Feminine spirit, I think, is more like a candle. It's more like a light. It's dancing around. It's not a hot stove. It's more like this candle that could get blown out. And that's why I try to protect that spirit in women that I know, because I know it can be extinguished. I've seen it. That's why I don't like prostitutes, because I see that spirit is completely stamped out, gone. And that makes me very sad. And it's a very tragic situation for everybody involved, because then it becomes the cold aspect comes out, right? You lose the feminine, you're left with the fucking cold, man. Ice cold. Ice cold, baby. Siberia. All right, I'm gonna go and eat. I'm starving to death. It's a beautiful day and it's great. It's a Friday. I'm not working because I choose not to work. I choose not to have a job. So that's the other thing. Like, it's not just holidays for me. It's my whole goddamn life. I'm living differently than everybody else. Like, everybody else is at work right now. Everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do, right? They're fitting into society. And believe it or not, it's not that easy to always be different. It takes time, takes work. But the longer you do it, the better you get at it. The more you learn your own, kind of coping mechanisms, and also you see the benefit in being independent at all times. And at the same time, you do, I got to say, finally, I want to say is that these holidays can be meaningful. They can be. Like, I can't wait until I'm home on Thanksgiving, and my friend Brad invites me to his house. I'll definitely go. I'll be stoked. I'll be totally stoked. I haven't been there in years. And the 2 turkey thing and the whole fixing thing, I can really, I could use that. In fact, I'm starving right now. I can start munching that right this very moment. All right, guys. So that's it. Sorry, I couldn't read your comments. It's too bright out here. I cannot see the screen, and I don't have my glasses on. So I got my sunglasses on. So sorry about that. I couldn't read your comments. Or your questions, but I will go back and read everything when I'm done. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great holiday wherever you are. Roy Cathon, Thanksgiving, whatever the hell you call it. Enjoy what you got, make the best of it. All right, guys, Ronin Man signing off here. I gotta find out how to turn this bad boy off. Let's see here.